Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I want to give everyone a nice introduction to who Tracy Ball is and her just general greatness. So ladies and gentlemen, I've worked with Tracy it's going on 4 years, believe it or not, Tracy. It's been a while. And Tracy is so many people to so many things to so many people. So she is one of our mentors. She leads a mentoring group. She does one-on-one coaching. She's a great trader. She's an amazing mom, amazing wife, amazing entrepreneur, business owner, trader. She does a little bit of everything. So this is Tracy Ball, and we're going to interview her today. So we're just going to talk to her and just find out a little bit about her life, why she trades, how she trades. Tracy, where do you live in the world?
First of all, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I saw some comments saying that the volume was low. All right. Well, I live in Drayton Valley, Alberta, which is about an hour and a half west of Edmonton in Canada.
Yep.
And I've been here probably for the last 6 or 7 years. I was born in BC. And yeah, been in Canada and the West Coast most of my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I'm an American at heart, though.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sorry, there's just too many things that I respect about Americans as far as their... Canadians were passive. We're very passive, and I really appreciate the conviction that the Americans have. So, and I'm more like that.
Love it. You are a convicted, focused, driven, and disciplined person. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
And don't get me wrong, I still love Canada, but I am an American at heart.
Love it. Love it. So fill us in. What got you interested in trading?
Well, actually, so I'm in my mid 40s, late 40s now, but when I was in my earlier 40s, I've always been an athlete, very active. And my husband and I own a construction company. And I mean, I used to play hockey, you name it. I'm very active. I've always been active. But I was on a medication that made me susceptible to blood clots, and I didn't know it. And after I had been working probably a week laying some floor in a house, we took a trip, drove 8 hours in a car. And when I came back from that vacation, my leg was really bothering me. And it turned out I had developed a blood clot in my right leg. And it swelled up to the point where there was significant damage within my right knee. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, because when you do an ultrasound on a blood clot, they don't notice it when it's still in your calf until it moves into the knee. And so significant damage had occurred. I ended up in a wheelchair for about 6 months, wasn't able to use my leg, wasn't able to bend it. And from there it was a 1.5 year rehab on a cane. So needless to say, I was no longer able to work in the field with my husband. And he's the one that said, hey, you know, you've got the mentality and the know-how, and you're smart, you like to learn. Why don't you start trading stocks, Bitcoin in particular? He wanted me to get rich quick on the Bitcoin run. And so that's what I did. But I'm not him. I'm not a risk taker. I like to control my risk. So, you know, I wasn't prepared to just dive right in and see what happens. I wanted to learn what I could. And I'm also the type of person that almost needs that confidence that comes with a certification.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into stock trading. I sat on a couch for a 1.5 years, not able to do anything with my leg up in the air. And
wow. Okay. So it just said, hey, I'm gonna make the most of this downtime, put in some work and get some grind in.
Absolutely. So
I like it.
From there, I mean, I was searching the internet looking for some way of getting the education that I needed. And I tell you, you're going through the internet, and I'm a fairly intelligent individual. I can pick up on things pretty quick. But what I found most of the time is they give you little tidbits here and there, and never the full picture. And a lot of it was quite scammy, wanting you to pay money to get into something. And it's like, you don't know what you're getting when you buy. There's no test run. There's no demo. There's no real confidence that me giving you the money is going to get me any kind of education that I'm looking for. And I was really skeptical of the whole thing. And even even you, I was extremely skeptical when I joined RLT. I used so I have a specific email that I dedicate solely to internet, so that if it gets hacked or scammed or spammed, I can just delete it and move on. And that's how I signed up to RLT. And I was very protective of my information and
love it.
And yeah, but I found your information probably the most complete. And it was one of those things that I resonate with you, and it just went from there. So.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate that information. And yeah, everyone has that email. It's usually a Yahoo email. At least it is for me.
It is actually. All girls play hockey at yahoo.ca.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So love it. Maloney says it's Hotmail for her.
Partially filled.
So what's your trading style right now?
Well, right now, I mean, I'm primarily a day trader. I am trying to make the transition into swing trading more than day trading, mostly because my son, our youngest son, he's 14. And we made the decision at the beginning of the year to permanently homeschool him, and not because of COVID. That came after. COVID just kind of helped the situation. But where we live, it's a small community, and we're really disappointed with the education system. And so to take matters into our own hands, and my son has some pretty decent ambition in life. I want to make sure he has every tool that he can, and I believe I can give him a better education than the education system at hand.
Sure.
So we agreed to have him home, and I'm teaching him. So I need more time away from trading, and that's unfortunate because I love trading as well. But for the next 4 years, that's going to be my life. So.
Yeah. What's your son's name?
Jacob.
Yeah. Hey, I agree on the education piece. I mean, you getting him learning from you. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? You get to spend time with him, hang out with him, be with him, pour into him, learn all the things that you want him to teach you. And also you get to be with him more.
Absolutely. And he's already an incredible kid. So this is just one way of nurturing it and making sure that he has everything that he wants and needs. So.
Right. Love that. Love that. So as far as your favorite style of trading, do you have one?
Yeah, I'm a morning trader. I like the momentum of the morning. I'm not, I don't particularly like the afternoon trades. I don't like the wait. And I typically play breakouts. I really dislike catching that falling knife, but I'm working on that. I'm getting better at playing a limit. So yeah, it's primarily my breakout trade that I prefer.
Gotcha.
And the other thing is I really focus on support and resistance. So using the support and resistance as the level of where I get in, get out. So basically what I mean by that is I primarily trade hammers, high wave candles, and then double bottoms, double tops. So that's what I'm looking for, but those aren't created equally. So a hammer in the middle of nowhere doesn't mean anything to me unless it's at a support or a resistance level. So it's kind of in a combination of that. And I'm fairly good at identifying the support resistance.
Yeah.
And the sentiment that goes with it. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
So give us an example. Did you take anything today?
Yeah, I'm in Walmart right now.
Walmart. Okay.
Yeah.
So walk us through Walmart. Why this?
Well, I like the gap. Just because the volume, and I was looking for it to possibly break that bearish volume that was there. So I was looking to catch it lower. Yeah. And then see for a breakout. So that was the trade that I got into, and it was on my watch list, and I really liked the setup. So this morning in the 5-minute chart, you can see that it was consolidating around the VWAP, and then the 10 EMA was moving up, squeezing into the VWAP, and that hammer right there off that 10.
Oh,
yeah,
that's it.
You bet.
So now, you played on the 5-minute chart?
Yeah, I did this time. I usually play off the 2, but I found that the markets have been really sporadic and choppy, that I'm playing off the 5, giving myself a little bit more weight, patience. Otherwise I'm getting wicked in, wicked out. So I'm
Wow.
doing that. But I took a partial at the high day, and then I took another partial at the break, 148.28, and I'm still holding. And right now I'm going for 149.60. And if I see a close below the 10 EMA, I'll be moving my stop up. So
Love it.
yeah,
Great trade.
thank you.
Great trade. So this was one that you just kind of happened to, like, you were tracking already. It was just
Yeah,
on.
it's on my watch list. Yeah,
Got it. So you watch Walmart how frequently?
every day.
Got it. So
Yeah.
it was, gapping above the high of yesterday, had an inside candle, so a 2-day pennant pattern, gapping up. And not only was it clearing yesterday's high, but I guess technically, I mean, it's clearing
Exactly.
this candle, this candle, this one, this one, this one, this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, like I said, I was hoping for a big run once it hit that high volume bearish candle.
Yeah. Now, do you swing trade and day
do.
trade the same stock?
I do. Yep.
Got it. So how will you determine, like, if you're in a swing trade, to do day trade in a different account, or how was
Yeah,
that?
I do. Yeah. So I have a margin account for my day trades, and one of my swing, well, if I'm going to be doing any swing trading with options, I'll do that in my margin account. But any swings that I have, I do in my what we call it's a TSFA account, so it's a tax-free savings account. So anything that I earn in it is not taxable. So I use that for my swing trades.
Now, do you guys get taxed on that when you pull it out of that account?
No.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now,
You're only allowed to put so much money into it every year. But you're allowed to pull out whatever you want. You can't put what you pull out until the next year. You can put that back in.
Got it.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting question. How do you navigate the whole US dollar, Canadian dollar difference? I know a lot of traders, a lot of people that I work with, they get really frustrated and annoyed by that. What's your...
I don't. I just trade everything in the US, and my broker does whatever they do, and I just calculate my R's based on what I do, and that's it. I could care less. The rest is just a part of doing business.
Got it. So bottom line, don't stress too much about it.
No, I don't care. Yeah.
Okay. Well, some people do. they really wig out,
Yeah, no, for me, I don't care. I mean, if they want to charge me conversion or interest rate, I don't care, because as long as I'm making my R's and I'm doing, like I said, it's the cost of doing business. And at this point, I'm looking actually at getting out of the broker that I'm with. I'm looking at getting an account with TradeStation actually right now, because I like to use like, I come from a futures background as well. So I started trading futures when I actually started trading real life account, and partly because I watched the futures trading video with real life trading, and I got in touch with Karen Shukin, who is incredible and awesome and amazing. I think she's an awesome woman, and anyone that gets a chance to talk with her or spend some time with her, you'd be very, very lucky. But I started trading futures with her, and I got used to using a DOM and volume profile, et cetera, and the TPO charts. So I don't have those tools available on the stock market, but some of the other charting software like brokers and data feeds combined with TradeStation will allow me to do some of that. So
got it. What broker do you use now?
Questrade. They're terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're rough.
Yeah, they're terrible. So, but I have my retirement fund. I have a Lyra account with them. I have my TFSA accounts, and then we have our margin account. So it's convenient. Yeah. And on top of it, it's taken a bit for me to trust, because when we first got into trading, we got into Bitcoin, and as a Canadian, we didn't have a lot of options here. It was really difficult opening trading accounts for Bitcoin. It just was taking forever, and for whatever reason, the American brokers were tried Kraken, couldn't get an account. It just was the runaround was terrible. And maybe it's better now, but 4 years ago when I was trying to get in, it was extremely difficult. And we ended up getting an account with Quadriga. And as most of you will know, Quadriga went bankrupt, and they took all of our money. So that's pretty much my experience with Bitcoin. And now I don't trade the cryptocurrencies for that reason.
That sucks. That does.
Yeah, that was a $41,000 loss. So it's
that's brutal.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're not the only person that's happened to. You know,
Yeah,
like
and
there's a lot of shady brokers and exchanges out there that had just shut down and went bankrupt.
it's brutal. And the thing is we were practicing safe trading, so we weren't even keeping our Bitcoin on the broker. I just transferred it 2 days earlier to cash out, and yeah, 2 days later, I couldn't get the account to settle, and I found out 2 days later the website was down. So yeah,
Horrible. Yeah, I'm sorry.
it happens.
But hey,
right?
it happens. Yeah.
You can't risk more than you're willing to lose. We were willing to lose it, so we lost it.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson.
Now, there's a chance we might get some of it back because there is a lawsuit going on, and we might get some of it back, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, do you invest in any companies long term?
I'd like to, but at this point, I'm 99% in cash right now, and
Okay.
I just think the market's too high. So I had a Lyra account that I had Edward Jones was managing, and I finally this year I told him cash it out. I was unhappy with the performance, and cash it out. And already in the last, because I just did that a couple months ago, and in the last 2 months I've already made more money in 2 trades that I've taken than they made in the last 3 years. So I'm
Wait, back up. Hold on. Can you repeat that for us, please? Just in case.
I said two trades, and I've already made more money than they yielded in the last 4 years. So,
bam.
Yeah. So I'm fine sitting in cash until things get. I've got some Qs right now. I've got a little bit of Qs, and I've got some Activision. But other than that, I'm waiting for the markets to pull back for a decent buy, and I want a decent pullback for the long-term stuff. I'm not interested in getting in right now.
So what trades were those 2 that you made?
What trades were they at? Well, I made some on the SPY and the Qs.
Easy.
Of them. Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. So AJ, there you go. She bought the SPY and bought the Qs. Not hard.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do when I reload. I'll load up on the SPY and the Qs. Yeah.
So fill me in on the mindset of the move, the cancellation, the pulling out the money and just saying, hey, I'm gonna do this myself. A lot of people are afraid of doing that. Why did you do it?
I guess my confidence was there. I mean, I've been trading for full time for a couple of years now, and I know what to do. I know how to do it. And yeah, my performance is showing that I can do it. So I'm looking at my numbers. What can I do? And even if I just day traded the account, I'd be better at what they're doing. So I just figured, what the heck. Not only that, the SPY, I know the SPY can outperform most portfolios and most of the mutual funds. So they don't just put me into the SPY. They won't do that. And because of that, it's like, hey, that's fine. I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And I know like a lot of people, sometimes that frustration builds and builds and builds, and it takes time for it to be realized. But in essence, I mean, they're not actively trading your stuff, people.
No.
Like, they put it into a fund, and the fund is like so diversified and it has 1.5 million things in it. It's only okay. Yeah.
Like when that COVID drop hit, and I can't remember what the percentage of my account dropped, but it was ridiculous. And the markets fully recover, and my portfolio isn't even 20% returned. I just said, forget that. This is bull.
Yeah.
So like it should have already recovered. So what'd you guys do? Sell at the low? I don't get it. So yeah.
Hey, I love it. Like I said, it's a perspective that a lot of people are afraid to do, but you did it and you said, you know what? I'm going to take control of my own destiny, my own financial future. I'm going to learn, I'm going to study, I'm going to spend the time, and then I'm going to make it happen. Absolutely. And here's the thing, that I know how to manage my risk. So what's the worst that can happen? I do this for a year. I find that I can't do it as well as they do, and I give it back. Yeah. Big deal. Yep. I get 20 more years before I need to pull on it. So. Yeah. 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 And that's that's
what I say about Tesla.
Yeah, it's a long time. There's a lot of opportunities. So when you say that you're going to be playing the SPY and the Qs, like what would your strategy be exactly? I'm just going to buy low and wait till it goes high. So okay. Yeah. So put some money in, let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Yep. Absolutely. When I hear Jeremy say sell going to cash, I'll sell. And then when it's low, you'll buy it.
Exactly.
Okay. Pretty simple. Now, are you going to do covered calls? Are you going to do put sales? Are you going to do anything like that?
I can't do any options in my Lyra account.
Order cancelled.
And that's the unfortunate part, because right now I'd be buying a lot of or selling a lot of puts.
Yeah.
But I can't use options in that account. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
I got it. So just simply shares then, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, that's okay. I mean, just playing the shares, buying it. Now, are you going to pyramid in? Are you just going to buy it one time? What does that look like?
No, I'll probably pyramid in as it's going down. Like I've got some queues right now. I don't plan on selling it, and I've got some orders lower, much lower. So I want to buy. Let me just pull it up here. On the daily, let's go to the weekly chart. So I've got some order in at about 247 roughly on the queues, and then I've got some more down at 212. If it fills, it fills. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 247 down here, 212 down there. Now,
So
how long are you willing to wait for that?
Well, unless we get a decent drop. So I'm looking for like a 25, 30, 40% drop in the market. And that's where I'll load right up and just leave it.
Got it.
Yeah.
How long would you be willing to leave it? Like, would you not touch it, not look at it, not mess with it?
No, I wouldn't touch it again. I'd leave it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, it can be really easy. Why those ETFs? Or would you look at another one?
No, because the SPY is a good performer. You watch it year over year over year. And I mean, like I said, most mutual funds can't break that performance. So why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree.
So,
any good books that you would recommend for like investing or trading or anything you read that you really loved?
Loved your book. Gotta tell you.
Oh, thanks.
Yep. Other than that, no, I can't say that I have. A lot of the books that I've read, and I've read a lot of them, it's either outdated data or once again, it's not the full picture. And it just frustrates me because it feels like there's one little tiny part that they're missing when they're telling you everything, and it just doesn't flow together. So, yeah. And you'll get a lot of these books that talk about indicators and they're all lagging indicators, and it's all great to show it after the fact. But while you're in the trade, I can tell you that moving average is not crossed at the low of that candle. So you're not getting in there. You're getting in after a, 5-6% move. So.
Now, do you use moving averages, or you use just VWAP?
I look at the VWAP, and I'm looking at the 10 EMA on day trades, and I'm using that just primarily to use kind of as a fail safe or a fail point. It's not necessarily my entry. I do want to try and get in as close to the VWAP as I can.
Okay.
And that's more to control my losses if it breaks down, because if it breaks down and I know that it's breaking the VWAP or the 10 EMA, then it's a failed trade to me, so I can get out early. Yep. And limit my losses. So that's primarily, but otherwise I'm not looking at any moving average crosses, other than if I see it cross, then I know, okay, well, I'm already in the trade. This is a good thing. And yeah, just go from there. So I actually prefer a nice clean chart. I like to set my support resistance levels. I'll use the volume profile and find the POCs, and I'll use the pivots and highs of days, etc., pre-market support, resistance. So I'll mark all those on my chart, and it's just so that I can see the levels as I'm entering and where I can take my partials.
Got it.
The cleaner, the better.
Yep. Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, Rick had a question in the chat pane. Why do you not trade futures anymore, or do you?
I'd love to trade futures. I love futures. And the only reason is because I don't have an account that can do both stocks and futures.
Okay.
And it was really difficult for me to be trading the stocks from a separate account while I'm focusing on futures, because the futures setup that I have uses up all 4 of my monitors. And so then, like I said, you're going back and forth, and then you've got half of your money down in the futures account and the other half up in your, it just was too difficult. So if I can get a broker that can do both, I will be very, very happy.
Interactive brokers can do both.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've been leery about getting into interactive brokers, so I need to practice more with them.
Well, I think I think you said TradeStation. TradeStation can do both, I believe.
Yeah, and TradeStation's the one I'm interested in. So
Okay.
primarily because, like I said, they offer the data that I need that works with one of the, because I'm looking at brokers and data feeds. They're an overchart or another charting software. And if I can connect TradeStation data for trading and real time, they allow minute and daily information, then they offer the DOME and TPO charts that I'm used to trading.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thomas says TradeStation, the only weird thing is they have funds separated for equities and futures, and IB does the same. Joseph says, do you play option day trades or primarily stocks?
No, I stock trade. I'll swing trade options, but I don't day trade them. So, and that's not because I don't like to, it's because I am not experienced enough with options to know exactly what to do with day trading yet. So
Yeah.
that's just, that's something that'll be down the road. I have no need to do it. And as far as I'm concerned, you practice what you're good at. And I've got the account size that I don't need to be trying to do it with options.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So tell us what your personal mentorship sessions are like.
They're different with each group, and we actually need to talk. You and I need to talk
Okay.
about changing things up a little bit. But they're good. I really love the group that I'm in right now, and I think they're awesome. The group I had the last session, they ended at the beginning of November, and I hope they're all doing really well because there were some good sessions. But I feel bad for them because it was my first mentor session, so I've only gotten better from there. And
Yeah.
yeah, but no, they're good. I think they're really good. So hopefully they think they're good and it speaks for themselves. So maybe they'll throw some comments into Slack or send some comments to you telling you that they're happy with the performance and they're getting what they want from it, and that would be great. So I love doing it.
Well, I mean, in essence, like reviewing trades and talking through about like what people did right, what people did wrong, what we can do better while we did it, and just kind of like analyze and just help us and traders in general kind of build a plan for why we do what we do and where we do it is extremely helpful, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we all see things differently, which is really good. So it allows those different perspectives to come into play, and it starts to build it. The way that I look at it is trading and learning each skill is like driving a car. And when you're first learning how to drive a car, you're completely alert and aware of every little thing. You're turning your head all the time. You're aware of the gas pedal, the brake pedal, the shifting lever. You're aware of the steering wheel. I mean, you turn the steering wheel and your head turns with it. It takes a little bit of practice, a lot of practice, and a lot of experience for a lot of the skill set involved in driving a car to become autonomous and done subconsciously. And that's kind of the way it is with stock trading. As you learn about support resistance, it starts to become subconscious. You just naturally see it. You don't have to focus on it or learn it anymore.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with hammer breakouts or pennant patterns, all of those, as you practice them and the more and more you do, that becomes autonomous and you just start to see them. And you have to treat it like that. You have to recognize that that's the way it is. And if you just went out and started to race your car, not having the experience that you need behind the wheel, you're going to have an accident. And so focus on those little things and build on it. Once they become autonomous, then you can start becoming a defensive driver or a race car driver or some other type of driver, right?
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Makes sense. Joseph says, totally agree. Yeah. So give us this breakdown. Like you mentioned the practice. How long did you have to practice to get this down?
I'm still practicing. So, but I love practice and I love back trading. So I back trade every day, every weekend, any moment that I can get a chance to back trade, I back trade. And if I could live and breathe stocks, I would. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunately. Fortunately, I do have a family and they do have needs and I'm pulled in different directions. But if I could spend more time doing this than I would. So I practice a lot. And for the first year and a half, I basically spent the entire market back trading. So, yeah.
So fill me in on this, because Tracy, as you know, most people who do this are dudes.
Yep.
And some of them don't have kids. Some of them do, some of them don't. But from your perspective as a mother who also is a full-time trader, how do you balance both?
Well, my family's first. So that's number one. But first of all, my youngest is 14, so he's pretty independent. Um, Thankfully, I also live 2 hours before the market, like 2 hours earlier than the market. So it's 7:30 in the morning when the market opens here. So I'm allowed, or I'm able to get a lot done while everyone's still sleeping.
Yeah.
So it's really just about balancing and prioritizing and scheduling and staying on top of things. So getting things done when you say you're going to get them done, and not procrastinate. And it's amazing how much you can get done in a day when you don't procrastinate.
How do you not procrastinate? How do you do it personally?
Uh, I'm driven. I just tell myself I commit to something and I do it. End of story. It's a choice. That's all it is. Discipline is a choice. It's an action. It's a verb. And for someone to say that they don't have discipline, that's a choice. And you do have discipline. You have action in the opposite direction of what you're talking about. So discipline is a choice, and it is, or I should say, discipline is an action, and the type of discipline that you're exhibiting is a choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's so Joseph says hashtag facts. Thomas says preach. Yep. I mean, that's the thing. We have all choices that we can make. We get to determine what we do at the time, what we do with the choices, what we do with their outcomes. And we get to really pick, do we want to do it or not? If we don't want to do it, don't. If we want to do it, do it. But in essence, you have to pull the trigger. You have to step up, and you have to take the action and create the plans in advance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that.
Yep. Yep.
So you say your family comes first. How, I mean, is it a scheduling thing that you do? Is it just a mindset?
No, when they need something, I drop what I'm doing and I help them. So I do what they need to do. So I make sure I get meals prepped for lunch, and I get meals prepped for supper, and I make sure the house is clean. So I schedule that around my time, and there's days I don't feel like doing anything, but I got to do them anyway. And that's just the life of a mother, and it's the life of a woman, and you just accept it. And I'm thrilled because my family loves me and they're happy, and that makes me happy. So
Got it.
yeah.
Love that. And again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat pane. Logan says single dads also. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. The life of a single dad. Absolutely.
Stay-at-home dads.
Yeah.
So
Stay-at-home dads. I know a thing or two on that one.
So Maloney says, how do you do it when you are stuck in a trade, but also need it at home? That's a good one.
I put my stop in, I put my target in, and I walk away.
Nice.
If it happens, it happens. I was willing to risk the R on it, and it'll either stop me out or it'll trigger my trade. Done.
Yeah.
There's alerts. I use alerts a lot, so I can set an alert and walk away. And if it alerts, I can just quickly run down and do what I need to do. But otherwise, I'm not paying attention to it. I don't need to.
Got it.
So yeah, I'm usually done my time in about a half an hour. I'm done for the day, and I walk away. If I'm still in trade, like I said, I'll set an alert. And it's one of the reasons I use TrendSpider in addition to TradingView. I love the moving average alerts that you can create on there. So I will use TrendSpider for that. So if I'm looking at a 10 EMA breakdown, then I will trigger that alert on TrendSpider.
Right.
And then I'll know. And right now I just need to move my stop up on Walmart because I do have a close below the 10 EMA. So I'm going to move my stop to 148.16.
Bam. Simple
Done.
as it. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Now, how did you do last month? Last month was a hard struggle bus month for a lot of traders.
Oh no, it was a hard struggle month, and that's I was still profitable. So I just didn't trade a lot.
Yeah.
So once I was profitable, I started to protect those gains, and I traded less and less and less. So that's That's what you got to do. There's no reason, if you're profitable at any point of the month, you should never go negative.
I mean, yeah, it's really easy to say that, but how do you do it though? Like there's trading don't you have to trade every day to trade?
No, you don't have to trade every day.
Oh,
If you're profitable, you're profitable. And if you're getting consistent losses, or if you're starting to see things not swing in your direction, or you're not seeing the market the right way, take a step back. I don't know if anybody's played sports, but I was an avid hockey player, and I played AAA hockey in Vancouver for a lot of years. And I played hockey. I was a goaltender, and I also played out. Plus I was a referee. So I was on the ice, and a coach. So I was on the ice probably 8, 9, 10 times a week. And I would play in the summer as well. So this was year round, nonstop. And at some point you start to get burnout. And I found that when I would take a 3 or 4 day break, or even a week break, and then go back, all of a sudden my skill set was 100 times better. And I was playing 100 times better. And it's like, well, how's that happening? I haven't played in like weeks, but all of a sudden my body's recuperated. I'm focused. All the things that I've been practicing have finally settled into the brain and have become permanent memory. And now I just get to act on it. And that's what ends up happening with trading as well. You can be learning and seeing certain things and seeing the market in one direction, and you almost get blinders that get put on. So when things start to go in the opposite direction, and there's a change in the market, maybe there's a sentiment change, but you're still seeing bullish, and you're used to seeing bullish, and everything's going bullish, and it's really hard for you to make that switch. So sometimes taking that step back, regaining perspective, and reapproaching it makes you a better trader. So what's wrong with taking a break?
Yep. So Rock says, when you take the break, do you still back trade?
Oh, of course. I can't step away from the markets.
Still got to put in the time.
Yeah, I put in the time. And I mean, if I go for I can't even think if there's one single day where I haven't actually looked at a chart. And there we go. I'm out of Walmart. So triggered out of Walmart.
How'd you do on it?
Done. I got just over an hour.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done. So what are your goals look like for 2021?
2021. It really depends on what happens with COVID. So for now, I mean, as it is, I guess we're just going to carry on the way things are, and I'll increase my targets a little bit. My goal for 2021 is to have my husband not work by the time summer rolls around. So he'll be home permanently. And that's my goal, is to make sure that I'm compensating for his income as well as mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I really like that goal. That is an awesome goal.
That is an awesome goal. Yeah. Love it.
Now, I'm not sure how much I'll enjoy it. I love my husband and I love spending time with him, but when I'm trading, I don't, because he's the kind, dump it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got zero risk management. So, yeah.
What's your husband specialize in?
Construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys mentioned you have own a construction business.
That's correct. Yeah.
Got it. Marta says, I have the exact same goal. Yeah. Love it.
It's a good goal. It's a good goal. We homeschool our son. So if my husband's not working, we're primed to travel and do whatever, right? At that point, we can go anywhere, and I can trade wherever. And that's the time. We're young, and my son's still young. Give him the opportunity to see the world, and his siblings won't like it too much, but hey.
And Jacob is how old?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, give us some words of advice. Let's say there's a trader who is 2 years into trading, and they're not hemorrhaging money, but they're definitely not winning. It's like every month, every 3 or 4 months, they're just losing small, and it just like slowly chips away at their heart. What is your advice for that?
It depends on the situation. I mean, do they have a mentor? Because I think a mentor is really important, and it doesn't have to be like a paid mentor, or just somebody that you can talk to that's related in trading. And that can kind of, I think it's important. You need that feedback. There's no other way of learning except through experience, and you can shorten that learning curve by having a mentor that can help teach you some of the mistakes or point out some of the things that you wouldn't normally see that will build that muscle memory into trading. So I think a mentor is really important. Other than that, I think that if you're not hemorrhaging money, chances are you're probably going in with the mentality of not losing, which is a good mentality. But this was something that I needed to wrap. I am one of the traders that has never, ever blown out an account.
Mhm.
And I'm lucky that I came across real life trading right off the bat and taught about risk management. That was very, very good. But through the whole process, there was a turning point in my career where I recognized that, wait a minute, there's a difference between not losing or trading not to lose and trading to win. And when I recognized that, that's when my trading all of a sudden became profitable. Because how many of you have taken small, tiny little losses and it bleeds your account dry? And you were right. The account wicks you out and then it runs. And that's coming from that mentality of trading not to lose versus trading to win. So I had to wrap my head around that. That was an epiphany for me. And when I did that, I basically said, okay, well, I'm going to manage my risk, maybe play with a bigger stop, but I'm going to play to win. I put this trade on. I was willing to risk it. I'm going to let it do its thing and give it more time and not panic. I'm playing to win. If you are in sports again, if you are only playing defense, you're never going to win a game. You might not lose, but you're never going to win a game. And that's just the reality of it. So you might tie, but that's the best you'll ever do.
Yeah.
So
Some point you got to score.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's really it. But I think that if you're struggling in your trading and your account is just dwindling, there's a multitude of problems that could be associated with that. And it could be psychological, it could be trading, there could be a number of things. And without having a mentor or a discussion with somebody that has the experience that can analyze what you're doing and give you some feedback, you're never going to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Love that. I think that's a really, really valuable point. Good information and great suggestion.
Yeah. And also I'd like to point out something as well. So I don't know if you guys know this fact, but I heard this and it just blew my mind.
What's that?
When men apply for a job,
Oh boy.
85% of them apply for jobs that they're underqualified for. Women, on the other hand, it's 98% of them apply for jobs that they're overqualified for. So women have a tendency of feeling that they have to compensate higher for their skill set. They have to do more. They have to be more educated. They have to have more accolades. So it's almost one of those barriers that keep women from performing well or from trying new things or even trying trading. So I think that's something that you need to recognize, that we have the skill set, we have the capabilities, we have the intellect, and we actually have some capabilities that we can hone on that can actually make us more successful as traders. So I wanted to point that out and make sure that that you're analyzing and keeping your own expectations in check.
So you're saying that stay-at-home moms can profitably, or at least consistently profitably over time, trade the stock market?
1000%.
Boom. Now it's gonna take work, duh. But
Oh yeah.
what would their schedule look like if you could just gloss over really quick, big picture? Stay-at-home mom, they want to trade, they want to learn how to do it, they want to understand how to slowly build an account and how to get this information. Day one, what does that schedule look like?
Start with swing trading. You do your day, and at the end of the evening, spend 30 minutes reviewing some charts and looking for a swing trade to set up the next morning.
So 30 minutes after market close, spend some time. And for those who might not be totally familiar, swing trading is you're in a stock and you're in that position for multiple days or weeks, or maybe a month or two.
Yep.
How do you pick the stocks that you're going to swing trade?
How do I pick? I use a scanner. I look for hammers. So I use FinViz. Look for hammers, and I look for long lower shadows. Both of those. I check the stock, look to make sure that it's in an uptrend. Now my hammer, I have some rules on my swing trade. So my hammer strategy, I am looking for that lower wick to be breaking support and closing back above it. So that's my priority. And if it doesn't have that, then I don't trade it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And this is a great point. So Steph says in the chat pane, that's the hard part. They have to have a lot of love to do this type of thing and do the work. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. It's a lot of work for someone who isn't inspired, referring to, you know, the stay-at-home mom. How do we get more women inspired to do this?
It's a tough question because you have to convince them that they're capable. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, to overcome. A lot of women just don't think they have this is technical, and it's not natural for a lot of women to have the technical skills, or they just don't think of themselves that way. And even though they have it and they have the capabilities of learning it, they don't think of themselves that way. And stay-at-home moms are so used to giving up their dreams and goals and putting them aside and just putting them on the shelf, that it takes a while to break through that barrier. So I think that's the number one challenge, is to really convince them that they're worth it and that they have the capabilities. So from there, it's just a matter of teaching them.
So I want to stay on that for just a moment.
Okay.
What you mentioned just a moment ago, in the sense of they have to know that they have the skills. They have to truly believe in themselves. Why is that such a challenge?
Well, like I said, I think it's because the industry that we and the way we've been raised, it's just one of those things that a lot of women don't think that they have the know-how. Right?
Yeah.
So
But they do.
there. They do, absolutely. But it's like trying something new. I would never have thought of doing this.
Yeah.
And I live in extremely, I've come from an extremely technical background, and I've been in male-dominated industry my whole life. I mean, I am a real life Homer Simpson, by the way. Just so you know, that's what my certification is. I am an electrical load operator by trade. So I didn't work in the nuclear plants, but I ran the BC Hydro power stations. So that's what I did, and that's equivalent. Now, he was incompetent, but I was very competent in my job. So I come from a very technical background, but I would never, ever have considered stock trading. It just wasn't something that was on my radar. It wasn't something that I thought I could even do. It was my husband that said, hey, you've got the background. And so once I started researching it, I was like, yeah, I can do this. How
did you stay motivated and inspired?
I'm just a naturally motivated and inspired person. I love learning. I could be a permanent student. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm very, very driven. I love knowledge. I love education. I love learning new things. And my biggest challenge, I get bored easily.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm always wanting to learn new things. So when I started trading, it's really hard to keep it simple and focus on one thing, because I'm always wanting to learn. So I need to have other projects on the go to keep me occupied and busy, so that I don't start going all over the map. So
got it. Love it. Jonathan Wage asks a good question. He says, what other hobbies do you have outside of trading or learning to trade?
Let's see. I play guitar, I play piano, I play cello, I golf, I walk my dog, hang out with my son. I love working on the computer and doing all sorts of, I love spreadsheets, making spreadsheets. I love to read, love to work out. Let's see, what else do I like to do? And if I ever have time, I love to game. I don't have time, but when I do, I love to game.
Like video games?
Yeah.
Cool. What do you play?
I love Gears of War. My son and I are currently playing Rainbow Six Siege. But that's only when I get a chance. Like, I'm talking once in a blue moon. And I loved Rock Band. I used to be an avid Rock Band player.
That's killer. By the way, everyone's loving you in the chat pane right now. Just so you know.
That's good. That's good.
Everyone loves this Interview. Vidman says solid person and great interview.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and before I used to coach. Now, once I moved into Alberta, I no longer coach. I loved coaching girls hockey, and I miss it tremendous. But they just don't have the league out here, and
Yeah.
So
Got it. Well, I mean, I think that's really, really useful. And again, team, just keep in mind that Tracy is one of our coaches. She does one-on-one mentoring if you want to work with her, and she does have the accountability groups, the mentorship groups. They are all sold out right now, but the next round comes up in January of 2021, and then kind of from there. Steph says she's an INTJ. I'm just guessing. Do you know your Myers-Briggs?
do I? No.
Oh, okay. Jonathan Wade says I'm an INTJ. I'm an ENTJ, I believe, if I remember correctly. But anyway,
So what does it mean?
Let's pull it up. INTJ personality type. Let's do the good old Myers-Briggs. All right. Introduction to the architect. Let's find out. Introduction. Thirst for knowledge. Sounds so far correct. Finding a better way. Architects question everything. You talked about that earlier. Social frustrations. Architects aren't being known for warm and fuzzy. They tend to prioritize rationality and success over politeness and pleasantries.
Yeah, that's me.
In other words, they'd be right rather than popular. Is this getting close?
Yeah. Dead on.
So Elon Musk, INTJ.
There you go. I'm in good company.
Yeah, you got the Musk man on your side. Love it. Well, Tracy, this has been a very useful and inspiring interview. And I hope that a lot of both men and women are able to take your drive and your thirst for success and knowledge and enrichment and apply it into their lives. Because at some point, it's just really good to know who comprises the community and all of the strengths and skills and assets that we have inside of real life trading, but also all of the trading community, even if it's outside of RLT. Just the simple fact that there are so many real, physical, tangible people with families and jobs and bills and frustrations and excitements in front of us that we want to pursue this thing, that anyone has the ability and capability of making a living doing this if they want to.
100%. So, and you guys, I'm always available on Slack, so feel free to send me a message. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let me move that over here really quick on the
I'm warm and fuzzy on there.
Yeah. So if you want to talk to Tracy, here she is. Send her a message. And Tracy, you mentioned that you and I need to chat. That's absolutely fine. We can easily do that. No problem. Easy day. But yeah, team, feel free to connect with her, reach out to her. If you think that this is someone that you can learn from or be motivated by, become her friend, join her mentor group. I mean, the mentor groups are 8 weeks long. Do you feel like that's too long, Tracy, or is that a good amount of time?
No, I think they're too short in each session. In each session, I think they're too short.
Yeah, love it. Love it. 8 weeks, team. It's worth it. And again, the reason that I think, and as Tracy mentioned earlier, the mentors, like getting someone just to help you, someone who's been there, someone who's able to do it. It is useful. It is helpful. It is something that's motivating, inspiring, and surrounding yourself with people that are better than you or more motivated or more excited or simply there to just help you be accountable to what you want to do. And Judy says, I never thought in a million years I'd be learning how to trade. Well, Judy, thank you so much for being here. And ladies, go tell more ladies. We got to get them confident. We have to make sure they realize that they are actually better than all the dudes out there. Right? I am a dude and I'm far massively, extremely average in my trading, but I do realize that so many of you have skills that you just are yet to behold. And I'm excited to know that everyone has that capability and that potential.
Awesome.
So thank you, Tracy.
Thank you guys. All right. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Tracy Ball, part of Real Life Trading. What a great team that we've been able to assemble together. And I'm very, very thrilled to have her on the group and community and part of the family. As far as a swing trade is concerned, I know we're looking at this hammer and Tracy was talking about hammers. I'm going to go ahead and set this up. just in case we get a pullback tomorrow, I'll make an official swing trade based on that hammer, because that is a thing of beauty in case Virgin Galactic pulls back, since this is on the screen a lot. And then I'll update our day trades, and then we will be off to the races. So pop this over here. Okay. New official swing trade on SPCE. 2091 by 1906. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and put that into the swing trade worksheet that's on my other screen really fast. And again, folks, just want to say thank you for trading with us today, or trading with me today. Today was a lot of fun. A lot of excitement, a lot of good moves. Leah was able to get back into CrowdStrike and was able to carve out another little win on CrowdStrike. That was the cute winner of the day on CRWD. So CRWD, CrowdStrike, it went again. So it came right down to our trailing stop, threw in the absolute gorgeous hammer, and then, of course, just ripped face all afternoon, exact low of the day, that trailing stop, and then just went on to crush. So as is the day. What I did notice today in trading, I'm going to apply it towards tomorrow, is today was a little wicky, right? A little wicky. So going to get in early and either exit quickly tomorrow. Again, workhorse, again, same thing to the penny. Really, really frustrating to get wicked out like that to the penny for it to just simply bounce higher. But in relation to the actual trades and overall, I think that's gonna be my plan for tomorrow, is again, just exit a little faster and buy a little bit lower and let those wicks be where we're getting in rather than where we're having our stops placed. So I think that's going to be the plan and objective for at least me tomorrow in essence. Sybil says I'm still in crowd. Steph is in crowd as well. Nice. Nicely done. The ladies, see, there you go. Stepping up to showing us how it works. Great job, team. So anyway, if you're listening in on the recording, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and pop over to reallifetrading.com. Click on mentoring, join Tracy's mentor group, unless it's sold out, which it probably will be because it's awesome. You guys rock.